guys, what's going on? It's TheDreadMan, and this is a sport video or more or less boxing because I've been getting a lot of requests to do this from a boxing fan. So if you're a regular subscriber of mine and you're not interested in boxing, then turn to something else. But anyway, let's get right into it. This is a fight that everybody's been wanting to happen for a while. To me, this fight should have happened like 5 years ago, but it's finally happening now. We got Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Sugar Mosley. Now, this fight's going to be good for boxing because, one, we all get a big money fight that we want to see. It's probably going to outsell Pac-Man because we already know the result of that one. You can see my predictions on that one on my page. And let's see. Another good thing about this fight is Floyd Mayweather's finally fighting a bigger fighter. For the last time he fought a bigger fighter was De La Hoya back in 2007. We all know the result of that. And Shane Mosley, he finally got a big money fight he won. He was going to fight Barrett, but I say Mayweather's a better fighter and a better opponent for him. Anyway, let's just break down a quick comparison of the fighters now. The power advantage. Who's got that? I'm sorry, but to all the Floyd fans, I'm sorry. Shane Mosley's got the power advantage in this one because last time we seen it in the fight, he was ripping Margarito's head off. And people ask me, well, do people overrate Margarito's performance? Well, do people overrate Mosley's performance against Margarito? I say yes and no. The reason why I say yes because Margarito was a one-dimensional fighter anyway. Just come forward, punch, no chin, or well, he's got a good chin, but no defensive footwork. He's just a rock and sock and robot. But full credit to him for the victory because this is why I don't overrate his performance because at one point in time before Margarito got exposed, he was one of the most avoided and ducked fighters in the welterweight division. And when you take the most avoided fighter in the welterweight division and just plow right through him like Shane Mosley did, then what does that make you? But on the flip side of that, this is boxing. You don't really have to be stronger than your opponent to beat him. I can count the number of times where I've seen a match or a boxing match where the bigger, slower fighter has been outboxed, beaten, and even knocked out by the smaller, quicker fighter. And Mosley, he is not a slow guy, but I gotta say that Mayweather is the better and the faster counterpuncher. As far as speed, as far as mobility, and how fast they can move around the ring, I say speed is about equal because they're both pretty fast on their feet. They both have a pretty good ring generalship and can move around the ring pretty good. And as far as hand speed, I gotta say Mayweather has a lot. His hand speed is ridiculous, but then again, so is Mosley's. I gotta say, as far as counterpunching goes, Mayweather has a better hand speed, but Mosley is the bigger fighter in this one. He has a lot of range, but will Mayweather's hand speed on the outside be able to beat Mosley's range on the inside and outside? We'll see. Defensively sound, as far as who's got the better defense, Mayweather without a doubt has the better defense. Because Mosley, he's not really a defensive fighter. He's known more or less for blooding people, putting them on their ass and knocking them out. But this is a contributor to the defense. I still consider this to be a part of the defense because Mosley had a freaking steel-plated chin. Mayweather, he's got a good chin too, but in order to touch Mayweather's chin, you got to be able to break through his freaking rock-solid brick wall defense first. And will Mosley be able to do that from the outside? That's kind of debatable. And Mosley, he has trouble with just standard boxers and with counterpunchers. Like if you put because lately Mosley's style has went from boxer to just being more of a boxer puncher. He's more of a puncher now, which is not really a bad thing. It's pretty entertaining, but all the judges are going to see if Mayweather sticks to the outside and just jabs, maybe even hit him with a straight right once a time. Because Winky Wright, he hit him Mosley with a straight right a lot in both of his fights. So as far as who's the better boxer on the outside, I'm going to give it to Mayweather, and he has the better defense without a doubt. Now don't get me wrong out there, guys, because Mosley, he can beat Mayweather. He's got all the physical gifts, he got all the athletic ability, speed, and power to beat him, but will he have the right strategy? I mean, he's got all the right. See, with Mayweather, it's more or less strategy than just brute force and athletic skill. Because this fight for Mosley is going to be like building a house. He's got all the tools to build a house, but he doesn't have the blueprint. So he's got the right athletic ability, but he doesn't have the right strategy. But maybe Nassim Richards will figure something out by now. I don't know, by watching a few tapes. But I don't know what kind of good that'll do because Mayweather is the hardest puzzle in boxing to figure out because it seems like with his style is perfect for any situation. He knows how to combat a brawler. He knows how to combat a standard boxer. He knows how to combat a counterpuncher. I mean, he even knows how to break down his own style, which makes it even more frustrating and hard because Mayweather, with his style, he won't really take a risk unless he has to. And I don't even remember the last time I seen him, actually hurt or knocked down or cut. I mean, he's been off balance a few times, but when Mayweather gets in the full swing, it takes him about maybe 3 or 4 rounds to adjust. He will start breaking you down. And that's the thing. He's a technician. He's a tactician in the ring, which is smart. And a lot of people who watch boxing don't really appreciate that because they like to see brawling in your face stuff. But boxing is not all about just swinging your fist like a retarded gorilla. Yeah, boxing to me is more or less about strategy. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like to watch a good brawl every now and then, but if you want to have a long career in boxing, then you may need to do what Mayweather does and, you know, kind of play it safe for a couple of rounds and then, you know, break them down. And then if you see that they have a hole in the strategy, you can just keep picking at it until you finish them off. And the thing about Mosley's strategy is, a good thing about Mosley is if he sees that he's got you in trouble, he can finish you off. And that's the thing. That's what I like about Mosley. That's what everybody likes about Mosley. And just a quick small topic, a little topic on the side. Now, who's the underdog in this fight? Because neither one of these men are really known for being underdogs. Because, well, Mayweather, he's never really been beaten before, you know, because he has never known defeat. But Mosley, he's lost before, but he's lost to quality opponents. He didn't lose no bums. Every fighter he's lost to has been bigger than him. And in this last couple of fights when he was the underdog, he beat people who he's not supposed to beat, who the critics and all the boxing experts said that he was supposed to lose to. Look, he was a 4-1 underdog against Margarito. He plowed through him in 9 rounds. In the same, he was an underdog against Cotto, maybe 2-1. But I thought that was a pretty close fight, and I thought it should have been a draw personally. But can we really say the same thing about Floyd? Has Floyd fought any quality opponents as of late? I mean, he beat Marquez, and Marquez has been through a lot of wars. But I won't discredit it. I give him full credit for all his victories. And when the excuse when he beat Hatton was that Hatton was a smaller fighter. He's been in a lot of fights. And when he beat De La Hoya, it was a boring fight. De La Hoya was too old. But I don't get why when Pacquiao beats him, it's the greatest thing in the world. And he's not old, and he beat the Mexican legend De La Hoya. And to me, Pacquiao, he barely beat Marquez. And I thought Marquez won the first fight. So I don't get why Mayweather gives his victory to credit. Maybe it's because people, they hate Mayweather. They want to see him fail. They don't want to see him win. They want to see that old finally go. Because that's the problem, especially with a lot of the pack-tards out there. They let their hatred of Mayweather overcloud their knowledge of boxing. Because, you know, most pack-tards don't know shit about boxing anyway. Wrap up this prediction, guys. I would have to say if I was a bet man, I'd give this fight to... It's going the distance, and I have to give this fight to Mayweather. 7 rounds to 5. It's going to be 115 to 113, unless somebody gets knocked down, which I doubt, because both these men have steel granite chins. But a Mosley victory wouldn't really surprise me, because he's upset fighters before. He's beaten people he wasn't supposed to beat before. But the thing is, I just see this going more Mayweather's way, because if I had to sum it up, I'd say it's going to be Mayweather De La Hoya all over again, with Mosley pressing the action, putting pressure on earlier in the rounds, and as the fight drags on, then Mayweather's going to pick him apart with straights and jabs. And Mosley, he has a knack of getting outboxed in the later rounds, just like against Vernon Forrest, Winky Wright, and Miguel Cotto. But like I said, you never know. It's boxing. As long as you got 2 hands and 2 feet, you got a chance of winning. But, oh yeah, one more thing. There's no getting out of this next fight, because the winner of this one has to go up against the winner of Pacquiao-Clyde. It's mandatory, because both these are lineal champions. And I'll be looking forward to seeing that one in maybe the 4th quarter of this year or the beginning of next year. Anyway, thank y'all for watching, boxing fans, and this has been the Dread Man. I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.